And welcome everybody to the Broken Wing Racing League. This is the Broken Wing Le Mans Series, Round 4, Season 1 at Long Beach. It is going to be a very chaotic one, I can tell you that from watching practice already. We are 9 minutes left in practice, and here I have in the booth with me Garreth, Hamm. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, of course. How's it going?
A little tired, but it's going all right. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. Excited for Long Beach, especially after we had the rain and all the hectic stuff going on at Road America 2 weeks ago. I'm excited for a little bit of change. Nice dry course today, but we got some interesting. It's a tricky course though, and so especially with doing a multi-class, it should be a really interesting race this evening.
Yeah. Totally. It comes down to not only it's a tricky course, but it is nice to see a sunny setting. I can't tell you how many depressing morning races we get in this league. Not in this league, but in just general. It's just nice. Why not we just have a bright, sunny day and really get the full feel of these cars?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I didn't even think about it until you brought it up. I was like, yeah, it's actually really nice. It's like, I can go for that weather right now. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, especially where we're at, where it's negative like 17 C. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's pretty bad out here.
It's not fun.
It's not fun, no. It's cold everywhere.
But yeah, we got from kind of talking with the other teams, it sounds like we have a good chunk of people that are doing solo dolos this week. So it should be pretty interesting. We've had past 3 races, we've had quite a few teams all doing solo dolos. And kind of looking at the standings, with all the other ones, almost everyone's going to be used up their solo dolos. For at least 3/4 for sure of the teams who use their solo dolos after this race, which is wild to see.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be 2 LMP2 Pro teams that are going to be using up theirs. The Bush's Baked Bean Endurance and Great Underdog Racing. That's Trevor Bonesteel and that team. And Jacob Simmons is going to be riding solo in the Bush's Baked Endurance Racing. That's the 2 from the LMP2 Pros. And then 2 in the LMP2 Gentlemen's Cups. 4 Loco Racings, Peter Petrucci, and Draft Punk Silver, Eric Koonsman. Oh, and that's not to forget our last driver out of the last of the solo dolos. Valhalla Motorsports in the GT3 series, GT3 Pro series. And that is Matt Benson, his teammate, not with us today, but they're 9th in the standings. They did miss that last race, so they do have a drop leak in effect, but yeah, that's going to put a lot of more red on that solo dolo. It has been used up.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing that, at least to throw a positive in there, for the GT3 Gentlemen's Cup, we do have a new team with us, Snell Racing Team with Gary Sack and Leonard Stang. So excited for those guys to join us and for someone else to race Lars and Tom Smith of B-Ray get out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. CW pairs in the car right now, but they do, and they're not on the track at the moment, so we can't highlight the team, but yeah, Snell Racing Team is out there, and that's going to be their rivals, so we'll at least get to see the battle in the GT3 Gentlemen's Cup. That 2, oh, that's a 2-1-2 team. I was like, it's like a couple of different ones.
Oh, and as always, give us a little bit of grace. There's so many teams out here with a bunch of numbers or numerals that are in their names that are always trying to make our lives a little bit more difficult and or fun, however you want to put it.
Absolutely. The Hyperion Racing teams from what is it? Hyperion Racing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But I will say I've been looking at the margins here for one of these teams. One of the Hyperion teams has not raced as much as the rest. That's Hyperion Racing 10 in the GT3 Pro Series. I don't know which team the GT3 the Hyperion Racing 10 is, like what drivers are on that team. But they haven't raced since the first race, round 1.
Really?
Yeah.
That actually kind of makes sense because I don't remember. Actually, I don't see them on the current roster at the moment.
Interesting.
Oh, but yeah, they are there in the results standings, but not on the roster. Interesting. Okay.
They must have bowed out and been deleted from the list.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
also, it just goes to show you, we have 7 GT3 Gentlemen's Cup teams that were registered, and I mean that's one more than I was thinking. I thought it was 6, but there's only 4 that have showed up for races. 4 teams, 7 registered, 4 have showed up. All of them did the first race. Oh no, 4 of them only did the first race. So not even all 7 registered have done all the races in general, or any of them. It's kind of surprising to think about it. There's 7 teams, only 4 showed up at all, and 3 of them only did 1 race, and then the other team that stayed in has done every race. What's going on in that GT3 Gentlemen's Cup?
I don't know, but I mean, it's one of those things when you get into these new racing formats. A lot of people want to try them out, see if it's something for them. And I mean, it's a Le Mans series. It's a lot longer of a race, a lot more just kind of endurance and just kind of having to really grind it out. And so some people are just not used to it. And a lot of people or teams are just not their cup of tea, which that's totally okay. That's just part of figuring out, giving it a shot.
You're not wrong. I mean, that's kind of, I think it is a test. Speaking of tests, it looks like we have Drunk Skunk Racing. They are finally joining us back again. That is Jeff Lubitsch in the car on the LMP2 Gentlemen's Cup. And this is his first race, or his team's first race back since the round 1.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't recognize that name, but that explains it, especially with these 2-week intervals that we have.
A lot more. Yeah,
be a little bit tricky to keep track of who's all been here and not, but yeah, that's great to see that they're back.
And speaking of people that are finally back, there's Justin F. Scott of Uno Dos Tres Racing behind the wheel. His time on the board is a 1:13.4. I'm not sure if he was the driver that set that. I already know that his teammates have both been in the cars thus far. What you're going to be seeing out of the times here, we have 1 minute left, 1 minute 24 seconds left before this goes over into qualifying, is the GT3s will set out their times first for 10 minutes, and then it will go to the LMP2s. One thing to note is right now on the board, that 112.5, that is almost a half second off of P2's time of 499 Racing's Colin Arnold. Further back, it goes from the 113s all the way back from P1 to P10. Beyond that is 114s from 11 onward to 17. Last couple drivers are not in the 114s. It's a 15 and 16, but less time on the board for practice maybe. Then we go over to Hyperion Racing, the GT3s. They're doing 118s all the way down to P5 on that split. Still in the 118s, and 119s down another 6 positions in the 119s. Then it goes 120, 121 after that. 499 Racing's 498. Todd Swanson hasn't set a time on the board, but they'll put 14 GT3s on the field and 17 LMP2s. This is going to be fun. Garreth, any predictions?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I'm not too familiar with this track. I've only raced it a few times myself.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot of talk about fuel saving with this track today. So I'll be really curious to see what kind of strategies these guys use for fuel saving, and then hopefully not, but potentially some safety cars getting thrown out there. And one of those big areas is either T1 or the fountain area, which is 2 and 3, I believe. Are just very dangerous areas, especially when you're on cold tires. So I don't really have any good predictions right now, but the one thing I am predicting is a solid race, and it should be pretty exciting. So it's a very close kind of small track with a lot of gnarly turns in it.
Absolutely. It's gonna be close, and I'm gonna hope for the best. We will not follow Caleb out on his outlap. We're gonna do a brief qualifying promo from our sponsor. And we are back. Caleb Limon of SRT Esport is out there. I don't even remember this guy's name. Lemon? Limon? SRT Esport. Yeah, you're right. But they're going out. We'll go on board with them. Have they been racing? Oh, they missed the last race. They were there for round 1 and 2. It just completely spaced this guy's name, Caleb Lehman. Probably Lehman. But,
yeah, with his teammate Evan McKay.
We have seen Evan McKay. Yeah. But further predictions. I mean, I'm gonna give this over to my co-commentator. But my prediction: we haven't seen a team in the GT3 series surpass the Hyperion Racing 6 team. They've won every GT3 Pro race so far. They've had a couple really good entries coming close to their title from them, but it hasn't happened. So I think another race win for them in the GT3 Pro Series. With the Gentleman's Cup up in the air now, we have another team joining them. I'm not going to be able to say who's who on that one. For the Gentleman's Cup, I think Inca Salsa Racing has a pretty good chance of winning it again. Four Loco Racing and Draft Punk Silver have been on that close to the top step or the top step themselves. Those are the 3 teams to look at in the GT3 or the LMP2 Gentleman's Cup. And honestly, when it comes to the LMP2 pros, I'm not sure who to go with. It could be anybody. I mean, what do you even say here? Like, Cone Killer Racing, 499, Echelon Sim Sport, they're all fast.
They're all extremely fast, and they have all just been up there just every single time. It's ridiculous how quick those guys are. But I mean, this is a very different track than what we've been kind of racing on. So I kind of want to see, especially with Justin out on there, I want to see the Unos Dos Tres really get up there and fight for pole position. But yeah, they got to do a lot of fighting though, because we have a lot of solid teams on track today.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, the Uno Dos Tres, it's going to be Rodrigo Theory taking them on that qualifying. As Jeff is still not set a time on the board for mixed nationality. I think he's our only driver here. Beanie Weenies P1. So Jesse Gonzalez goes to 7th. And Hyperion Racing 9 of Luke Wallace goes into 2nd over Parks de la Cruz, who did have the fastest lap. But Hyperion Racing 6, Derek Heiberger, that is the guy to beat, his team to beat in general. They are the winners. Oof, that was a 499 Racing and 497 Connor Till. He's going to park that and give it another go. Just lost that rear right on the exit. This puts Jeff Koffold into P2. Maybe. There is no time set on the board.
They got to get moving. They have a little less than 5 minutes left now for their qualifying before the LMP2s get on the track.
Yeah. And that other GT3 Gentleman's Cup team, Snell Racing team, Leonard Stang is going to qualify for the team. And it's our second addition to the GT3 Gentleman's Cup. It's quite unfortunate.
How close are the Snell Team Racing to be ready to get out of the way with?
About 8/10.
Okay.
Almost a full second, but 8/10. Todd Swanson splitting the two and with that 498, 499 Racing. Actually, not the one in front of him, but it's close. Now, crossing the line. Is this a legitimate lap for Jeff here? It is. Puts him with a 120.7 just behind V. Ray. Get out of the way of Thomas Smith. There's something.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, there's something off about this guy's livery here. That refresh again, isn't it? Control R.
Yeah.
Give everyone a hey, there it goes. Let's pop back into existence. And what were you gonna say there, Garreth?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it'll be interesting when the LMP2 start getting out. But what we're kind of noticing with the qualifying, or with just times that the guys were putting in for practice, was I mean, roughly, 6-7 seconds difference. I mean, it's not on some of these tracks, there's a big difference between the lap times. With this track, there is not. It's pretty close. So it's going to take a lot longer for the LMP2s to start running back into the traffic. So it should be pretty interesting to see what happens.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be SOT. Orange team there. Gio Gonzalez goes to fourth. Mixed nationality was in fifth, but now down into sixth. Dropped down because of Gio Gonzalez, but good result there for Jeff. Like you're saying, the times are pretty similar. And Justin, if anyone listen to you at all, being in a rough patch in life, all these drivers are finishing it up here. Let's take a look at our pit lane. Is anyone trying to make any sweaty moves here? It doesn't look like it. Maybe.
Nothing. Oh, it's starting to stack up a little bit.
Are they stacked
about a minute
up,
30
though?
left.
Would you say this driver is stacked up?
Not there, but I mean, back up there. Yeah, there we go. It's stacked up towards the back a little bit. But, I mean, they still got about a minute left for the other drivers to really get out there and start
I think you're
getting
right.
in formation.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I think they are waiting for it. A couple of them aren't waiting just yet. Now, look at that. Ooh, that's a Draft Punk Silver. Eric Koonsman. All right. Times are still being set on the board, but nothing's changed in the GT3 class so right at this moment. P1 through P14 has all been pretty much set at this moment in time. Now we see these guys are stacking it up here. And the blimp isn't going to work here, guys. That's unfortunate. But
It looks like they attempted a straight line, but it didn't work out very well.
yeah, I'm going to blame Matt Brewer on that one. I appear in this in 6. It's a little off canter there.
They'll be heading out on the track in just a second.
And it should be noted that the Bushesbeck being Durance Racing, Jacob Simmons failed to register his teammate, is why he is having to do a solo dolo. It's kind of like the most consequential thing that you could do in an endurance race is register your team correctly. With the drivers that are going to race, I mean, Garreth, I don't know if you have any comments further on this one, but that just seems like a blunder to what it could be a very professional Bush's team. They're trying to bide for sponsorship with that level of commitment. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just rough. And I think his teammate was Chris Lambeth was throwing some shots at Jacob Simmons, saying that he just wanted to race this one by himself and just didn't want to register him.
Ugh. Rodrigo Theory of Uno Dos Tres Racing is gonna take us to the I guess the green light here for the first hot lap for the LMP2s. He just loves this track so much. One couldn't see.
I would hope so because he's got 2 hours of it. If he doesn't enjoy this track, it's just going to be a rough time for him, and he's only has himself to blame for it. He actually hates this track. Oh no.
It's rough.
All I can think in my head is I can't even think of what quote or what it was from, but the congratulations, you played yourself.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I cannot even think where that came from. I thought it was just like a meme. Rodrigo Theory with the fastest. A 1:16 is going to be the quickest time on the board. It's actually, if anything, a little bit of a banger lap there, because that is just a slow one. Yikes.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a catchphrase coined by DJ Khaled.
Oh.
Rodrigo Theory gonna try that again. First, that was kind of a very common thing that we're seeing with these guys doing their hot laps. Is they would do their out lap, do a hot lap, and then immediately reset. Because how far these guys are pushing it with fuel, and they just want the best tire possibility for just trying to get the best time out on track. Which I find interesting with tires. From what I remember hearing, it's just because those tires just take a while to warm up. And maybe it's just a fuel constraint for this track.
You could be right. Could be that. Could be a lot of things. No technical difficulties. We'll get to the ticker. Back to the ticker in just a second. It's just confirming something. Maybe a suspicion of sorts. Right.
Ooh, Jacob Simmons coming in with the fastest lap right now.
Just retaken by Colin Arnold of 499 Racing.
What's nice to see is a lot of these guys that are out there doing the qualifying lap seem to be giving each other quite a bit of space, which is really nice to see.
You're absolutely right. William Paisley in the Arcadian Motorsports crosses the line into fastest lap. And who is that? Is that Craig Carroll? Yes, it is. Alright, let's just see what he does here. Got 4 minutes left to go. Maybe he didn't want to reset. Locked up there. With more room than Austin Powers, he's able to... Oh, he's just waiting. hopefully he can get a clean lap in on this next one. Uno dos Tres Racing, Rodrigo Theory's in 14th now with a 1:15.7. Fastest times on the board are going to be 1:13s. We did... Ooh. Yikes, and I just roughed up Shane Larson's lap as well. Also having to reset there. Look at that lap out of Jacob Simmons. It put him into P1 for the Bush's Baked Bean Endurance Racing. Yikes, everybody is just binning it hard there. You can hear it. The Appalachian GT3 Punters of Tyler Tier goes into 7th. As Cone Killer Racing Ryan Otis takes P1 with a 1:13, almost 1:13 even. Colin Arnold, Jesus, is this just happening as like a sound effect when they're getting close to that barrier? Because it sounds like someone's hitting it every time they go into turn 1. Maybe that isn't the case, but it is the case that for that driver, Peter Petrucci, who hit the wall right there. Colin Arnold, 499 Racing, was in P1 briefly before Cone Killer Racing stole the gold there for this top step. Shane Larson of Hyperion Racing 8 into 2nd. Trevor Bonesteel is actually in 4th right now. What a ridiculous set of circumstances. Jacob Simmons set the fastest lap and is now down into P5, having just qualified faster than everyone else, and then everyone just... I think the track development might be warming up, just ramping up for these drivers as they are getting faster and faster times with with not that much time left to go.
Yeah, what a mix of bag of emotions for these drivers too, and just because like, oh yeah, I set the fastest lap, and then all of a sudden just like, wait, how did I get into 5th all of a sudden?
Absolutely. It's one of those, what happened? What am I dealing with?
Yeah. Ooh.
That is not the exit of the corner there, Jacob. Oof. Oh!
That's right.
Oh, man. Cone Killer Racing will not get another attempt at that. Or, that wasn't Cone Killer Racing. That was the 499 Racing. Sorry. When the 499s use the same exact livery and we get a 2-week break between every single one of these things, it's difficult to remember which driver you're looking at. Cone Killer Racing is a 499 affiliate, but racing with his son. And son's
It happens to us every 2 weeks. Every single time it happens to us, we get them confused, and it's going to happen throughout this race, guaranteed.
Yeah. I mean, if it did... I mean, they do look alike, so there's that whole thing. But, I mean, if you're looking at the number, it didn't even say... You couldn't even, like, clearly see what tag he had on the... I mean, the 89... Or the 86, I should say.
Yeah, but I think, at least for me, I always just stand or look at the identity of the livery to the driver once I kind of get it familiar. So it's always difficult when the 2 different teams are running the same thing.
This is 3 tipper teams. One of their LMP2 teams is no longer with us, which is interesting. And then we had the same thing actually happen in the GT3 class. They have 499 Racing and Shane Larson finding the absolute limit of this track, which is the wall, and still going for it. Draft Punk Gold of Peter Flanner goes to P7 with his time on the board. I'm not going to say... what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I don't think you can treat this like that one NASCAR driver that decided to ride the wall to get a position.
Oh, yeah. Know who that is too. For the fly for me, I can't think of his name right now. Ross Chastain, there you go.
Well, I don't know.
I was thinking of IndyCar names for some reason. I was just watching a bunch of IndyCar stuff, so the Dissidents, Cooper McCoy goes to P10 with that lap on the board, which puts us complete with our drivers that have set times on the board. Gasparilla Motorsport and Drunken Skunk Racing did not set times on the board. If I'm not mistaken, even if they don't set a time on the board, they have to start behind the GT3s, or at least that's what happened the last time that happened.
No, I thought that was with the weird safety car issue, and for the start, they keep them at least grouped up by class. For the
Okay, I hope that's the case. Maybe that was the preseason that I'm thinking that happened. Good luck commenting, guys. There's gonna be a lot of action. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of action. Speaking of action, let me look at the grid here for everyone to see. P1 through 5, you can see Zach Herbert in 6, Peter Flanner in 7, William Paisley in 8. William Paisley had one of the fastest laps out there, and he's down in 8th. That's just what goes to show you the difference here. Tyler Tier in 9, Cooper McCoy in 10, Craig Brick in 11, Eric Koonsman 12, Matt Brewer 13, Craig Carroll 14, Peter Petrucci 15, Rodrigo Theory in 16, followed by the P1 through P5 of the GT3s. You can see them on the boards there on the left. P6 is Jeff Koffold, Caleb Lehman and 7, Matt Benson 8, Colin Till in 9, Jesse Canales in 10, Andrew Korsecki in 11, Todd Swanson 12, Thomas Smith in 13, Leonard Stang in 14, Sean Gerd and Jeff Lubitch in 17 and 18 in the LMP2 class. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, they're gonna have to go through the entire back section. This is gonna be an interesting one. All I was gonna say there, Garreth, is I think you, commentator cursed, our Uno Dos Tres racing team. You predicted that they were gonna be fighting up there at the top of the leaderboard, and little did you know, they're in P16.
No comment. Nothing was meant by it. I didn't think I had full-blown powers. Yeah, with commentator's curse.
They're right back there. And if I'm not mistaken, a chopper cam here. Okay, no, 17 and 18 are, you're right, they are there in the back within their own class. That would have been kind of interesting if it didn't go that way. I think it would have been fun.
It would have been fun. It would have really added to the chaos, that's for sure. But with these guys starting out on the back stretch over here, it's purely just to give, to help create the gap that you can see that right now the GT3 drivers aren't quite going yet. Just so they're, helps create that gap for those guys between the two different classes.
Yeah. This is going to be mayhem. There's no doubt about it. We do have a safety car generator running for this race. So it's going to get started momentarily. The one thing I'm sort of at odds with is how this is all going to work out for the GT3 class. In some aspects, the rules are very clearly stated, single file line through this hairpin that's coming up. And that's going to put them all in the LMP2s on the straightaway, right at go, almost like right at it. Like they're all going to be able to fight for it. And that's not single file, but it's as good as you get, I guess. Now they're going to go racing, but that's still single file for the rest of those GT3s. And we're off. Cone Killer Racing down into turn 1 is going to take the lead. Keeps the lead over Shane Larson and Hyperion Racing 6. And look at that gaggle. There's 2 wide. And it is so far so good. And that is a spin. And he's still pushing him. Inca Salsa Racing. And now we have a little bit. Oh, that is a. Now we're just. Is there a yellow car, safety car for this one?
I would assume so, but good on the GT3 drivers for stopping like that. That was awesome to see.
And further back, it's not thrown it.
Interesting.
We'll go back over to our leaders here and take a look. It doesn't look like anyone's going super fast. It looks like I think the... Alright, it's because they haven't gone around, but the safety car did go out because of that incident.
Okay. And then quickly about the safety car, just so everyone's on the same page. We are running an in-house safety car, and basically how it's currently set up is it will be the safety car generator will automatically throw a safety car if any of several variables are met. Those variables include 2 cars stopped on the track and or 4 cars off the track at the same time. There's a maximum of 3 safety cars per race and only possible from minute 0 to 100 minutes in. And it is set up to have 2 full laps for your safety car.
Yeah.
And at least with it, I mean, this is mixed. I mean, I'm glad it happened right off the gate like that, just because of we don't have to deal with wave rounds or anything like that. The classes are all still grouped up to their class as a group, which is nice. Helps make this a lot easier.
Extremely easier. I mean, we already saw what happened, but we'll see it again just in case no one else witnessed it. Oh, that's one incident, and that is Matt Brewer. Draft Punk Silver in the back of Hyperion Racing, and then I'm not sure what happened here. Wait, that was Cooper McCoy who no, it wasn't on him. William Paisley of Arcadian Racing. I guess he was the one that turned. That was Peter Flanner on the outside that goes through. But you really can't even tell from that angle. I think he just got spun around. They're all slow. It was a slow entry. Gasparilla Motorsport somehow involved in this? Nope, just slowed down. Oof, no. Hit the rear of Craig Carroll there. And Craig Carroll also. Chopper. Alright, I'll do a quick chopper of... Oh! That's more evident there. Chopper here for, yeah, that was clearly he got ran into in the back. Better angle for you, but I don't think he was trying to drive back into him. I think in total, Garreth, I'm not sure about you, but I think when he was still going on, he was trying to enable his brakes and so they could get unstuck, and then, you know, the whole kerfluffle. I think at that point, when they're fully stopped and the GT3s were coming up, it was already a safety car. It just hadn't been. Everyone was still trying to figure out how to unglue this parquet they put themselves in the fountain section.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, parquet is the best way to describe it. I think you hit that right on the head there. I mean, it was just, all right, who needs to go first to be able to unstuck this mess right here?
Yeah, clearly Jacob Simmons had to, like, the yellow flag was already out, safety car was coming out, instead of trying to go to the pits, I mean, he was just waiting for everyone to just let him re-enter, and they all did. The yellow was thrown in the middle of that fountain section when everyone was pretty much stopped. No one was trying to gain an advantage in any meaningful way after they were trying to unclock it all. I think everyone kind of already knew there was going to come down to this, and we'll get a restart and see if they can't get through that fountain section clean on this go around. I think maybe one more. Nope, it is in right now. And Cone Killer Racing is going to take us to green.
There it goes. They are off.
Already really well done there for Hyperion Racing's Shane Larson. They're all going to slot in. This time a little bit better from everybody here as they're going through.
Yeah, I'm sure that none of them want to have a repeat of that, so good job on everyone for being able to get through that.
Absolutely, as Uno Dos Tres did get past there. Into turn 5, I think that was. Now the GT3's leading through. Everybody pretty much cleanly. Ooh, I say cleanly, but something happened. That 497 car, Connor Till. Oh no. Little lug nuts of Charles Whedon spun. Looks like Eric Koonsman trying to make a move here on the distance Cooper McCoy. It just seems like there's someone always hitting that front section.
Put some more tires up there for reinforcement.
Tires, I think that's just concrete.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just tires just to try and be nicer to the cars a little bit and to the drivers.
If I had a hazard a guess, I would assume that this guy's front end is missing because of what happened there. He just wasn't going to make the corner. That's unfortunate for him. Gonna have to wait for all those drivers, for the most part, to go through.
Hey, that's a huge level of respect, though, of just saying, all right, I get it. I'm not going to be able to force this and to not create any mayhem. I'm just going to use the runoff, and then I'll just restart on my own.
Mm-hmm. Despite not having that front body work, the 497 has passed the 498 car. The 498 car is into the pits already. Oh. They are already in. One is perplexing. I wonder if there's any damage that car has. Mind you, if you hit any of these walls, you can screw up the differential just like that. Any balance you have in your car, it could all go out the window, and I've done it myself. And you actually hit a turn 7 before this start straight, this back straight, I should say. You hit that front end there, it's over.
Yeah, and I was trying to figure out what damage he had, and it looked, at least from the very rough angle I had, it looked like the left rear was out of whack a little bit, so that might have been it. He might have been neutral from it.
There you have it, yeah. Just some damage on board. William Paisley making a really good move there on the inside of the hairpin and got past Eric Koonsman. another not seen but has been done. Jacob Simmons was down 10, now only down 8. He's going to have to fight his way through some of these Gentleman's Cup drivers, but it looks like you only see 2 ahead of him. The rest are all going to be pros, maybe, even. Can't really tell.
Yeah, I mean, good on them for already making up those positions. And man, we're just hearing those sounds of people just bouncing off stuff just nonstop, it seems like.
Seems like a lot of murder. It's hard to say. Ooh. Hyperion Racing 6. I believe it's the team Eddie Layton's on. I might be wrong about that.
Yes, Hyperion Racing 6.
Look at that. I'm not wrong about that. His team, of all the Hyperion teams, has had the worst luck in these races. I'll call it the Elliot Burton effect.
Oh no.
Yeah. The bad luck just has followed that team every race. Something bad happens to them, whether it's a racing incident or otherwise. It just doesn't go well. And that's off the starts. The starts have just not played out as a ruling factor there for that team. Hyperion Racing 16. It's just apparently there's no fast repair option. Not in the Le Mans Broken Ring Le Mans series. There isn't. I believe more or less to be closer to the actual spirit of the endurance racing itself, which is based on the IMSA series. I could be wrong about that. Oh no. Eric Koonsman is on a solo. If that doesn't mess up the front end, I don't know what would.
Oh, and he just has to tow,
Yeah. He was one of the 5 solo dolo teams, and depending on repairs, he might be calling it. I wouldn't want to wish anything bad on Eric Koonsman. I've already destroyed his chances in the Xfinity Series on round 1.
Oh, gee.
Not my intention at all to do so. But speaking of those intentions, we got Cooper McCoy of the Disneys. He's finally passed all the GT3s there and is going to be able to make moves. It's just a little bit of a taste for some of these drivers to see what it's like beyond practice, what it's like for these drivers to be these LMP2s to come by them. Speaking of that, going over to our leaders here, Hyperion Racing 8, Cone Killer Racing behind, and Great Underdog Racing just following in 3rd. This little pack up to, I would say, P5, they're awfully close to P13's GT3 class driver. And then they're going to start catching the pack after that.
Yeah, they're coming up hot. And one thing I want to point out, since it may be in effect for a few of these drivers, is that we do have an incident limit that's in effect. So 25 incidents are allowed before receiving a drive-through penalty, and any other another drive-through penalty after that will be applied after every 5 incidents after 25.
Oh. That's a pretty brutal penalty. To be honest, I'm going to take a look back at this Craig Carroll here. See, that's what I'm talking about. That tire barrier, that's turn 7. He hit it. Now going over to him, he's going to be down the start straight. Let's go on a onboard cockpit cam. I think his wheel might be slightly canted.
That's what it looks like. It's off to the right a little bit.
Doesn't like showing the cockpit cam. Went straight to a scenic view. Now the leaders have caught that 13th car, and that is Charles Whedon of the Little Lugnuts. Oof. He went very wide there. It looks like they weren't able to all cleanly get by him. Back?
Yeah, now they're getting to the game of trying to deal with traffic, and these GT3 drivers are just trying to stay a predictable line so these LMP2 drivers can just get through and make the right decisions while trying to pass.
It does look like that is the case. I don't think Charles is too unfamiliar with being as predictable as possible. That being said, you just hear people might be getting too close to the wall. Jacob Simmons did make a pass somewhere. It's only 7 positions down from where he started this race. Craig Carroll looks to be fighting that car a little bit more than the other drivers because of that incident with the tire barrier. Could be wrong. Maybe it's not that bad for him right now.
Yeah, but I gotta feel that with it being off canter like that, I mean, it's going to wear on his tire even more, and that's going to start creating some major issues in a few laps.
Oh. Yeah, prosciutto punch racing is definitely going to feel the effects of both those incidents there. Hyperion Racing 6 got just ahead of Jacob Simmons there. Really, it was like a position gain and loss for Jacob Simmons, as Craig did get behind them. That would have been 6 positions gained, but he lost one on the turn 1 there to Matt Brewer.
Yeah, it seems like he's pushing really hard and just trying to make up those positions that were lost at the very beginning.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. But he's up 2 from where he qualified, so that's, I mean, all things considered, not a bad case for him.
No.
All right, William Paisley in P9. This is a long race, gentlemen. Yeah, he hit that wall. This isn't going to be bumper cars. Oof. Just completely lost that right rear and locked up.
Yeah, we do have an hour and 40 minutes left. It's okay to be easy for a little bit. It'd be nice to your cars. They got to go through a lot more.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to have to not park it, but do some repairs. He's going to lose some positions there. On over to the GT3 class, we still got a lot of good battles on our hands. A little bit of a pace difference has been shown even after lap 2. To be completely honest, it's been not too close for some of these drivers, but some of them are still close together. Gio Gonzalez of SRTE Orange in 4th. Got Tyler Kokeko of the 212 Racing just ahead of him, 4/10. And quite possibly a little bit cleaner racing.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking that, like with the GT3 class, those guys are, doesn't seem like they're bumping the walls nearly as often as the LMP2 guys.
Yeah, I mean, it just really goes to show the difference in classes. I mean, the GT3s don't have to push as hard to keep it within the limits, or keep it off the walls even, but honestly, the only downfall here for the Porsches is just going to be these the back straight and the front straight. Mind you, I just don't think there's going to be a lot of passing involved, but if it's going to happen, it's going to be that start straight finish into turn 1. He just has to follow. Gio just has to follow along here and really maximize his exit. He's not that far along. That's just supposed to show you like the cornering between these two is very different. He's reeling him back in on the straight, only about 0.2 though. It's clearly not going to be enough. Someone else that's trying to do the same thing is the SRTE. Ooh. Yikes. There goes some carbon fiber off the flare in there.
Yeah, all I was thinking was that could have been a lot worse. I mean, it wasn't good, but it could have been a lot worse where it had been turned or anything like that.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Jesse Canales of Barbecue Boys might have a shot here. Hacker versus McLaren down a straight. Is it going to go to Jesse here? I feel like I say it every time, but I don't know what Dr. Pepper has to do with anime rifles, but it is.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. No pass made just yet. William Paisley had a little bit of an issue. Oh, he had to take to the runoff. That'll do it. This battle's still raging on. There's no change in the order just yet. Who? Quite possibly. He's now 0.2. This is as close as he's ever been. Nothing. What could change this, Garreth, is we got the class leaders right behind, or the LMP2 class leaders behind this little battle. Can change all of it. And look at them. They're filing one after another.
Oh, man.
And that is Todd Swanson, a 499 Racing's 498 car, in 14th that he let by. I guess we're going to see whether or not these drivers can pass through safely. Hopping on board with our Shane Larson of Appearance Racing 8. How does he approach these two cars that are coming up on him, or he's coming up on?
Yeah, it's so difficult just trying to pass these guys on any of these corners. You just gotta really wait for the straights and just kind of play it out.
I mean, as well as he could do it, he took one in turn 7, just before turn 7, and then took one right after that. That is smart placement for the leading LMP2. Cone Killer going side by side here. Oof, getting a little love tap there. Yikes! And that is the 499 Racing of Colin Arnold. I'm not sure what happened there. Ooh, that's what happened. We'll do a chopper cam. That car just ahead, the Echelon Sim Sport, he couldn't go, and so he stopped and got hit.
Oh.
A little bit of damage there.
Yeah, that's hard.
I don't know what you can say about that. I mean, Gio Gonzalez could not do anything different. The car in front of him was not moving, so to speak.
Yeah, so you just kind of have to wait your turn, and hopefully no one just comes up on you hot.
Hopefully. And that really did take the wind and sails out of this entire fight here, as Gio Gonzalez is now 2 seconds back on his rival. He was 2/10ths back before these P1 through 5 LMP2s went into their battle. I guess one thing you can say that's not a bad thing here, or I guess a positive, is he doesn't have any rear damage from that incident.
Yeah, awesome.
Some other positive news is Jacob Simmons is now only 6 positions down. So he gained another one.
He's moving, that's for sure. Just trying to pick his battles where it makes sense and just going for it.
And briefly, we're going to go to a replay here. We've got Peter Petrucci, who's now in 16th, or maybe in 16th. Not a crash, but just had to get back up there. Arcadian Motorsports of William Paisley. I think we saw this one already, but yeah, that was his little move there. And then Uno Dos Tres Racing. Rodrigo Theory, who locked up in turn 1. And, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are just like, whoa! Eric Kuzman spinning out.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pirouette for himself there. Craig Carroll. Losing it to turn 4. Back at it, though. That was on lap 14. So, back in it, he is... Oh, he's actually a lot of laps down. He's 6 laps down. It's going to be a long race for him and his team.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, just that damage that he got and just had to go into pits. I mean, it just sucks.
Yeah, did you see that? That guy, Tyler Tier hit the wall. Oh. And there's Elliot Bird, Draft Punk Gold. I thought Peter Flanner was in the car. And yeah, he's got Tyler Tier half a second back. Elliot A. Burton here, who had a very clean race for himself in the GT3 series. So, well done. I think what is it? The voodoo magic has gone away, and he's finally able to get some clean races again.
Sure hope so.
You know, I think it's an interesting fact. The only reason why he was in the Pro-Am class is because of all the, the incidents, the crash, like just all those collisions of things happening. He'd qualify well, and then just back to the grid. And that was like season after season. I'm talking like the 9th season, 10th season, 11th season. Just, a maximum amount of bad things could happen to one driver, and they continue to, be that way for a little bit. I was just going to get away from him so we don't see anything bad happen. If it does, it's not my fault. Jacob Simmons is back on board with him. He has not passed Craig Brick in Inca Salsa Racing, but it's been behind him for a number of laps now.
Yeah, and we'll see if he's able to. I mean, with this track, you just gotta go into these turns just perfectly with your entrance into them, the exit of them, to try and get as much speed as you can for these straightaways to try and overtake. And it's just challenging, especially with how gnarly some of these turns are. I mean, they are sharp. And with these LMP2s that we keep seeing, I mean, there's so much power in just trying to stop and being able to make these turns. A lot of these drivers are just having difficulties doing that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It has been chaotic, to say the least. It's been extremely chaotic. That said, if any of the teams that are here and listening to us, and your teammates are racing, if you want to join, just join the cooldown room, and Garreth will pull you in. The limitations of Discord being Discord, we can't pull you from your actual team chats channels because that is too far separation from where we're at on Discord to put you into the booth. So just making that clearly said, because someone did said something in Discord. If you or your teammate wants to have a little powwow with us over your team's performance or anything that's happened thus far that you've noticed or wanted to comment and talk about, join us. Just go to the cooldown room and yeah, just let Garreth know that you are there. Or I think Garreth might be able to see it on his Discord. I'm not sure how your screens are all lining up there, Garreth. I don't have Discord maximized to see anybody or anything at this moment in time.
I got an eye on it, so we're good.
All right. That said, everybody seemed to go through that cleanly a little. It's just, maybe it's just the, like that porpoising effect. Maybe they're just hitting bumps in the track and it's creating that.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that because we're hearing that way too consistently, and I'm trying to see and find any damage. I'm not really seeing it, so it might be just how the track is just slamming on the suspension or something like that. We're just making that gnarly sound.
Yeah, this is Formula One. It'd be that strike plate, whatever they call it. I'm almost certain.
We got Chris Lambeth joining us from Bush's Big Endurance. How are you doing today?
Oh, just having a little day off. It's fine.
What have you been talking with your teammate during this race about what's going on?
Not talking. Just listening to the grunts and groans and the struggles that come with Long Beach. So.
What are those big struggles that you're seeing with Long Beach, and especially with the LMP2s?
I don't know if I should say it on stream, but people sending it where they shouldn't on lap 1. Absolutely should not be sending it there. Yeah, just the tightness of the track, the traffic. It's pretty warm, so it's a little slippery out there, but yeah, it's just a lot of hurdles. So not a very big track, and a lot of cars cause for a lot of issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we keep seeing is people have been, trying to avoid hitting some of the walls, but using the runoffs quite often. Is that what's causing a lot of that? Is just missing braking points, or? Yeah,
most likely brake lockups, or just not wanting to lock the brakes and just using that runoff and then backing up and getting back on track, trying to save tires a little bit, probably.
I gotcha. There's been some talk that I've been seeing today about fuel strategies with this track. What have you been hearing about that? And then what do you think Jacob's trying to do?
I know we're trying to save fuel right now. Haven't really talked to him too much about it, but he did mention something about saving fuel. So, although with his positions he's gaining, it doesn't really look like he's doing too much of that. So we'll see what happens on the second stint. Ooh, somebody just went to the fountain.
Yeah, that was Jeff Lubitsch. I do have another question for you. Since you have probably talked to your teammate, have you scolded him or otherwise tried to get to the bottom of his His, limitations as a teammate in a multi-class event, registering
Yeah,
a team.
I have a paper dunce cap waiting for him when he's done.
Okay. Fair enough, yeah. Looks
He
like
knows what he did.
he was
Maybe,
racing for half the day as well, so you'd think they would have been fresh on his mind.
Yep. It is what it is. So I drove 6 hours today, so I'm actually kind of okay not racing.
Well, nice.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should add to the BWRL merch is a BWRL dunce hat.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. If the loser of the season gets that.
Ooh.
Or we just take the livery of the poster child who was last to break a rear wing, and they become the poster child for Broken Wing Racing League until the next person that does it. I mean, we go through merch like crazy because it would be one person nominated and then the next and the next, basically every race. The GT3 sprint, at least.
I like it. That's a good idea.
Yeah. We're cooking up some good stuff right now.
Or just add their name to a list, like a T-shirt list, like just like the Broken Wing, like it's kind of like the champions. What's the Canada's track champions wall of champions is what they call that, right?
Sure.
I don't know. It's something close to that, but just like the wall of the wings or something like that, and then just start throwing people's names in there, adding a new name to the T-shirt as it progresses.
I like it.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
We should start it with this race.
I mean, this race, hey, there's no broken wings just yet, just front ends mostly, more than anything, and probably some differentials. I mean, I would assume that might be the other thing there.
And spirits, definitely a few of those.
Yeah.
Oh. Just hit a caution.
Yeah. Oh, we did hit a caution. Ooh, what happened?
And we are going to be slowing down.
So before the
Cooper
mixed up with the registration, did you guys have any strategies planned out for this evening?
The strategy was go for the vibes. Neither of us had any practice with this combo, so we were here for the vibes and weren't really too concerned about it.
Hey, that's one way of doing it. And just kind of keeps the stress levels down and just kind of go with the flow.
Until you get sent on in turn 2. We're not going to talk about that.
Nope, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, it would have been Cooper's incident because nothing else really occurred there. I mean, I'm just gonna put this to a helicopter view. What exactly happened here? Ooh, nice helicopter cam.
Looks like. Wait, who's in front of him? Jeff? Looked like Jeff tapped the ball a little bit.
William Paisley is
Oh.
And then that's Jeff.
Looks like Paisley tapped the wall, which slowed him down a bit too much.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm getting from there.
Well, that'll do it.
No, will.
A full car, 2 cars stopped on track with a third. I'm just curious how this stacking of the cars is going to go, because they are definitely not going to let the GT3s all go, are they? Yeah.
No idea.
Oh, everyone's going into the pit lane.
That is,
This would be the time, though. Lap 30.
yeah.
So indeed, all the LMP2s are all riding in, as well as the GT3s. this could actually really be a really shaking up the strategies, whatever people want to do. That saving fuel strategy is not going to pan out because now everyone's going to be on a full. I'm not going to say it. It's going to say a word, but that wouldn't be the right word to use.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Chris, for joining us. Appreciate you coming in here and giving us a little bit of insight with what's going on and with what you're seeing.
Absolutely.
Good luck to you guys, and hopefully you guys can continue gaining back your positions.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for him joining us. For the interviews, or at least acknowledge. Well, the racing wasn't really racing. As far as things were going on, there was a pass that happened just before this yellow flag went out, and it looks like it's going to put Rodrigo Theory into P1 at the moment in time, but he is not pit, so he's going to be caught up to just like that. Everyone's on their outlap now.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes out.
So confused as to that driver got the wave around, so maybe we'll see some more GT3s get the wave around here shortly. They are, and there's only a few up to P7 in the GT3s that are a lap down. The rest are 2 laps down. Okay, so now Rodrigo goes into the pits. That's gonna put him down, though. All right, now 7 and 8 have been released to rejoin at the back of the pack. So then we should see everyone else just keep this as it is. William Paisley's in the pits. Peter Petrucci's going to take a position there. I don't think they ever clarified how the whole releasing of GT3s in this chaotic scenario is going to work out.
Yeah, I know that there's talks of, and what they might be trying to do is just doing a bunch of manual wave arounds for the GT3s. But I know that's difficult due to the admins actually racing right now.
Well, it's just a button of some sort that you map. And if it was extremely difficult, then we have to give high praise to Joshua Grasso, who is able to do it on the fly, get people waved around, numerous amounts of people too, not just like one. He's like, okay, you get a wave around, you get a wave around, your black flags are cleared, your black, like, just, so it's got to be kind of like somewhat similar to that, like, where he just hits a couple buttons and that's all said and done. Way more difficult when you consider all these GT3s are stacked up in the middle of LMP2s.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's got to be like, yeah, a button to map, but you got to, I figure that you'd have to like select manually which driver that you want to push around.
Yeah, and if any teams were heavily fuel saving, then this safety car is huge. Pretty much that, yeah. That Chris Lambeth, who we were interviewing, his teammate, it was confirmed that his teammate was heavily, or was trying to fuel save. He's down actually only 1 position, so this actually really helped out in his entire race here.
Yeah, it did.
He was down 6, now down 1. I don't know what's changed beyond that. I mean, he did hit on lap 29 with everyone else. Okay, there's one driver that's been released. They're not all getting over to the side to let him go. That's P9. Now, P10 should also be getting that same release. Now, those two drivers in the back were... I don't know. Now I'm confused. Two of those drivers were already released. Barbecue Boys of Jessica Canales, Matt Benson was released, and Andrew Korstecki in P8. These drivers were all released. But who's that one right there in the middle?
The Dr. Pepper one?
Oh, that's Kevin Millard.
Oh, that one.
He was 2 laps down from these drivers. So now he's actually 3 laps down. They've been able to regain their lap, and he hasn't. Paisley meatball during yellow flag.
Driver swap, and I mean, yeah, tow, so something happened.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, that actually destroyed his front end. I don't know if you saw that, but that was canted inward.
Yeah, it was.
Now it's looking fairly much stacked away.
Yeah, so very good on the admins for being able to get it cleared up like that. And it looks like we're about to go green.
Yeah, we are about to go green, and everything is cleanly stacked up nicely for the GT3 class, and as well as the LMP2. Oof. I don't know. Jesus. They are not all ready to go.
Someone was blinking pretty hard, too.
That was a hairpin and a half of cars stopped on track. Trevor Bonesteel of Great Underdog Racing in second, with Cone Killer Racing Matthew Morehart's in first. He must have gotten that on the pit stop. Yes, he did. Or actually, that's kind of wild that he would have looked at that one. He did a 104, the same as 499 Racing's Bradley Sexton. I believe 499 was in the lead there. I might have been wrong. It could have been Cone Killer in the lead. Who's to say on these two? Back over to... What? All right, we have another safety car. That
did not last long.
All right, John Rice, Echelon Sim 4. It had already went to a yellow flag by the time he jumped back out on the track. That is indeed the only incident, though, that it shows.
Huh.
Yeah, just John Rice of Echelon Sim Sport. He didn't touch anything. And he never fully stopped.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I truly think that this might be a safety car bug. if anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with you there that there's an error. Well, hey, at least the class is already still separated, so that keeps that easy.
The classes are separated. Some of these guys should be getting that lucky dog to get that wave around, because they're a couple laps down. Let them go, gentlemen. Let them go. I think we're seeing it, actually. Good on them. Good on them. They're actually letting them go. And now it's just going to be like, dodge the LMP2s.
All right.
Good track choice. Hey, this is where IMSA's at. And that's the Snail Racing team. First one is V-Ray, get out of the way. Then Snail Racing is gone, and then Todd Swanson is also going to get a go. Make his way around all these drivers. It was Kevin Millard. Gets following suit. And even better here is Christopher Chitterling of Little Lugnuts gets to rejoin the other drivers, now down only one lap with every driver he's around, so he's back on par with the GT3s. Barbecue Boys is only going to have to drop to the back, which only makes him lose a couple positions. He's still up one position. Zeki Kabani's in that. Oof. He does not have a... he's missing some carbon fiber.
These vehicles get beat up on this track.
Yeah. It is something else. Justin F. Scott of Uno Dos Tres Racing in P12. Now they're up 4 positions since the start of this race. Tyler Sage Anderson in the distance is just ahead of him. This is actually really looking good for Gasparilla Motorsports and Drunken Skunk Racing in P9 and 10. They're up 8 positions each. Can't go wrong there. Now, what is this? We have some LMP2s that are at the back of the grid, and they're going to have to slot in behind the GT3s.
I think they're trying to get past.
Oh, maybe you're right. And we're already racing.
We're green. I'll just be a little bit of traffic for them to deal with.
Oh, that's Jeff Lubitsch right there. John Rice of Echelon Sim Sport got Chester Scott concise and on the outside here and make that pass. Looks like he gets so cleanly through. And then further up we have Trevor Bonesteel. It's also he's doing a solo dolo right now, so it's a lot of respect here for great underdog racing. Going out there by himself. 5 drivers have done this tonight. They're soloing this endurance.
Yeah, that's awesome. And him being P2 is huge.
We let the red shell go. Is Invader Rod?
Oh.
Oh, it's Rodrigo. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
This isn't Mario Kart. Get out of here.
I think the blue shells are all the Hyperion racing. Hyperion Racing. It should be noted that Hyperion Racing 6, the GT3's Pro series there, is Tyler Kokeko, who hit the wall there in 212 Racing, gets by. I think it's settled. Man, that was good on him in the actor there. Derek Heiberger is behind the wheel. He did set that on pole, by the way. Well, he did a 104 on lap 28, which means when they went to the pits, and the other drivers actually saved 8 seconds there, even 9 seconds for Luke A. Wallace and Hyperion Racing 9. This team has not lost a race in the GT3 Pro Series. Whoa, the mics really get louder in the cars for some reason. I think we're never cut to our in-car voice thing in a while.
Yeah, Hyperion 7 is up.
Oh. Brandon Renfro is in the pits. They're swapping drivers at the moment. That is actually just the inherence of this run right into the wall there. That's just inherently a Long Beach thing. I've streamed many races here, and the camera angles, not always the best, but they track the sound of cars very differently than what other other tracks that I stream on that you would see or hear. It does happen. It also, Garreth has also noticed, you're hearing those sounds of, I would assume it's porpoising. Sometimes it is the wall, them hitting the wall, but most of the time it's just the bottom plate is making contact with the road, and that's also a weird outlier of a noise that just kind of pops out.
Long Beach is making it difficult for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
No one gets to escape the challenges.
It's Trevor Bonesteel going side by side here with Matthew Mortar of Cone Killer Racing, and he might actually get by him. I'm not quite sure. He does get by him, and there's Bradley Sexton of 499 Racing on the outside, overtakes a sister team rival and goes into second position in the pros, LMP2 Pros, and is by Trevor Bonesteel, who's solo doloing this in the LMP2 for his team, is out there in first place with Cone Killer Racing in third. That was Matthew Morthart, and then Bradley Sexton, who are on board with currently the 499 number car, in second. Both these drivers making up solid positions over their rival who was in P1.
Absolutely phenomenal racing.
It's really clean. Really clean racing. We're back. We have Jacob Simmons and Matt Brewer battling it out there as Peter Flanner has retaken the spot, I guess the car on lap 29 from Elliot Burton of Draft Punk Gold. You hear that? It just sounds like
Oh, yeah.
people are dying. They're hitting fences, catch fences. Which one was that? Did they call that red shell? Was it the Dissidents, Tyler Anderson, or were they comparing the red shell to Echelon Simsport? I can't remember who he passed. Who passed who?
Oh.
I think it might have been John Rice.
I think so?
Go to session events. It was John Rice. Now Christopher Chitterling and the Little Lugnuts as we were on board with Andrew Stecki of Computer Punch Racing just ahead. I might remember he didn't race it correctly, so whatever's on screen isn't correct. His team is, I think, Indica, as they have a sister team that's called Sativa. A bunch of potheads.
Ooh.
That's one of them. Has spun
out
as
there.
Andrew Stecki spun the wheel. Just go to a quick replay here. Let's see what went wrong on the exit here. It's a nice rotation. Too much. And there you go. He is in the pits. And we're going to get a side-by-side action here of Echelon Simsport and Tyler Sage Anderson of the Dissidents. Tyler in front. Gasparilla Motorsports just ahead of him. Sean Gerd in P8.
Can you bop over to Snail Team Racing for me real quick?
What team?
Snail Team? Or Snail Racing Team?
They are not on. They're not on the.
Oh, they're not.
No, they're not even
Never
racing.
mind.
They
I was,
stopped on lap 12 or 12 laps ago.
Oh, never mind then. I was gonna just since we always make some kind of comment about it with everyone's fun liveries. I was curious what theirs were since they were a new team.
They had a snail on board.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. That's awesome. We're about at 55 minutes left of this race so far, and yeah, should be seeing. Well, some of these fuel strategies that people have been using have been pretty interesting. We've been seeing a lot of people pitting a lot later than what we've typically been seeing in these races.
Yeah. With that being said and brought up in the chat as well, what's the race format? This is the Broken Wing Le Mans series. It's based on IMSA, and it's an 2 hour 45-minute endurance race. Coupled up, it is 96 laps for this race, particularly because the lap time set. Also, we have driver swaps. Every team is allowed only one solo dolo, meaning they can only have one race in the season where they can solo the race for their team if their teammates cannot attend. or if they fail to register their teammates accordingly, like the Bush's Baked Endurance Racing has done tonight. It's all part of the excitement. There are no fast repairs, unlike the GT3 Sprint Championship. I think there is a fast repair in that, if I'm not mistaken. Is it there, Garrett?
Yes.
Yeah. And then there's also one fast repair in the Xfinity Series. I don't know about the V's versus Rays, which is on Thursdays.
Yeah,
probably. 2-hour races, yeah. 4:45 would be way too much, yeah. It's 2 hours, but it allows for the possibility of 3 drivers all getting into the car. And there are teams that are I think 6 teams that have 3 drivers on their team. It's not every team that is doing that. Most of them are just two-man teams.
There's actually 13 that I just saw. 13 teams with 3 drivers.
13 teams with 3 drivers. Wow.
Oh, we had some because of like Noah's team and stuff that couldn't do the rest of the season. They grouped up.
Oh yeah. That's currently we are seeing a battle with Matt Brewer and Matthew Morthart. What were you saying there, Garrett?
Oh, I was just trying to remember what Noah's team was.
Nothing
in particular.
Narwhal Racing. I think they might have already deleted them off the.
Yeah.
While it isn't the case that people are showing up for every single one of these races, there are 18. There are 24 LMP2 teams in total. That includes the Gentleman's Cup LMP2s. Are not so fast guys. 6 of those are in that class. And then there is 23 GT3 teams that are entered and registered for this series. Not all of them are showing up, as you can see. But most of them have showed up. I would say we've had only a few teams. I can think of 5, 6, 7 teams of that, all those totals in total that missed the last 2 races but showed up for the first race. But every other team has shown up for it, at least 2 or 3, or 3 or 4 of them total. Just kind of quite nice.
Yeah. No, it's really great to see, and I was kind of making mention of it earlier in this broadcast that this is our first time doing this series, and it's great to see the amount of people out here, but there are a few teams that did drop out, and it's just not due to schedules or just not their cup of tea, which is totally okay. This is a new series, and I mean, it is the Durham series. It's a lot different than running officials or anything like that, so it's a lot of fun to do, but it takes a lot of time, though.
Yeah, it does. And yes, it is. We are using the same tracks as the IMSA official. It is a league built on basically a Le Mans series that follows IMSA tracks. So no one has to end up. Both drivers hit the left rear against that wall. That's unfortunate. I guess the other thing to add there, Garreth, is if you want to even are interested in the league but don't have a team already, you can always join the GT3 Sprint Championship and find a teammate that maybe wants to do the Le Mans series. There are people that have been looking for teammates in the GT3 Sprint Championship and have found teammates. I'm not sure how many drivers have found teammates in the that were trying to find teammates for the Le Mans series before it started, but it looked like there were a couple. And just briefly, I'm going to pull that replay. It looked like something happened with Matt Brewer. No, there was a little bit of smoke, but no fire. That was a bad pun. Not even a pun, but like a, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Analogy. I hate myself for that one.
Hey, we could just be back here just doing dad jokes all during the entire race.
Yeah, and also if they weren't familiar, someone did mention it in the chat. A custom safety car, an in-house built safety car for street tracks. I'm not for road racing. We have used it since the start of this series. We even use it in the GT3 Sprint Championship on Sundays, and it's worked out when it mostly. I think there was one little kerfluffle at Sebring for this series. Maybe it was also at the where'd they go? What was that German track they went to?
Oh my gosh, it's on tip. I can't think of it.
Not Nürburgring, but
The other one.
the other one. Oh man, that's annoying. It's right there. F1 used to go it all the time.
Hockenheim?
Hockenheim Ring. Yeah, Hockenheim. Yeah. Oh, you just got that from chat, didn't you?
No, actually, I was looking at the results standings.
Oh, gotcha. How does that work? Garreth, if you want to say, I think you have a better understanding of how the safety car generator works, more so than myself.
Yeah, so the nice thing with the safety car generator is that we can kind of tweak it to different parameters for what series we're running it on. So for these guys right now, since I have the rules pulled up in front of me for how the software is set up, it's basically it's looking at for a few different variables. It includes 2 stop cars and or 4 cars off track at the same time. We have it set to 3 safety cars per race, and it's only possible between the start and an hour 30 into the race. And then it's set up for auto 2 laps until the end.
And those laps can be extended by the admin based on whether or not everything is still ready to go. Like if all the cars are in the correct order for the Le Mans, like for this series at least, for what we've just seen in the earlier safety car, they make sure to get all the lapped trafficked GT3s out of the way so that it was a full scenario of the LMP2s at the restart in a full lineup of the GT3s. Whether the GT3s were fully out of or in alignment was also taken into account when that second safety car came out. They did release all the ones that were down 2 laps and not 1 lap. So now all the GT3s are on the same lap. Just whatever the lap that is down from the LMP2s as it is.
Yeah, it just helps create a little bit cleaner racing and just kind of group them up by class, which is nice. And it's like what you pointed out, it's really nice that the admins have control just to extend for another lap if needed. They can get things kind of separated out a little bit more. But as with all software, it does have bugs, and the API for iRacing is a little bit of a bear to deal with. So while iRacing's updating their software, we have to update ours on the back end to try and keep things playing nicely, and sometimes it just doesn't work, but that's just the nature of beast in software development in general. But for what it is for in-house, it's absolutely amazing, and we do greatly appreciate the guy who created it. That's actually part of our league.
Yeah, I believe that was Joshua Abbott Salazar.
Yes.
He used to go by J. Abbott Salazar. Okay, we have Matthew Brewer in Hyperion Racing 6. He's got Cone Killer Racing right ahead of him, and they're going to go side by side down the start straight finish. Who's going to go to? This is for P3, and defending is Cone Killer Racing's Matthew Morhart, and he lost that position before the fountain, and through goes Matthew Brewer of Hyperion Racing 6, and gains that position for now, and yes, he's holding it. He's already about 4/10 separation there. That said, further back is Jacob Simmons of Bush's Baked Endurance Racing. He's had Peter Flanner draft punt gold in his sights lap after lap as we've been talking about explaining all this stuff, but no change in the order from these two drivers. Look at that, he's going to try to get was it Tyler Kokeko of 212 Racing, and got him into turn 7. And now Inca Salsa Racing Trey Brick is gonna get a pass down as well before turn 8. We use the safety car generator for the GT3 Sprint Championship. That is a format that uses the IMSA official schedule as well, if I'm not mistaken. Right, I believe that Craig Carroll, the owner, is putting the GT3 Sprint Championship to the IMSA track schedule, and we do use it for that that series. It does get turned off on specific tracks for very specific reasons, as you wouldn't want them on for those. Tyler Anderson trying to make a move here on Hyperion Racing 8. We do use the oval safety. Actually, no.
We use I believe we use just the normal safety car generator for the ovals, and then we do use our in-house one for the pizza race.
You might be. Depends. I think we have. I'm not sure entirely. I think we've used the in-house safety car generator a couple of times. I don't know what Tyler's doing here. Just getting a little heat into the tires, but just dropped back significantly to Sham Shreves there. Just swerving all over the place. Now Matt Brewer has Bradley Sexton of 499 Racing in his sights for P2. This is quite exciting. Never before have we seen this kind of action out of the, I would say, the top 5 in general, because the races prior for the LMP2 class have been really set in stone with like some dominance from the lead team. We are still seeing that dominance on track. It is Trevor Bonesteel who's soloing this race for his team. What is this team's name? Alex Warkus is his teammate there. He couldn't make it. We've already had the big incidents, and unfortunately, there's a lockup there from Matthew Morthart of Cone Killer Racing, and Matt Brewer is going into the pits. It's been long enough to go in the pits. They last pit on lap 29 for the LMP2s. So I guess we're going to see what kind of shakeup happens with this. He was fighting for P2. He was in P3. And now he's dropping back a little bit. For perspective, we have Luke A. Wallace of Hyperion Racing 9 in the GT3 class. He is just out and into turn 4 there. He's going to be well away from this scenario.
It's going to be really interesting with these guys going back into the pits and what the final shakeup looks like from that, and then getting towards the end of the race. But absolutely, you were correct on with the top 5 of the LMP2. I mean, these guys have been battling just nonstop, and they just flip-flopping places and stuff. It's just been great racing.
Yeah, it has been great racing, and like Room Tep Waller said, there is a max amount of safety cars that will be thrown. There's also if there's no safety car thrown, I know at least in the GT3 Sprint Championship, after X amount of laps, so I think it's like, or X amount of minutes, I think it's 20 minutes into the race, no safety car will come out, even if there is, quote, the big one that would trigger it. Mainly because the race is not going to be set in stone, but the GT3 races are already pretty shallow. They're 4 to 5 minute races. They work out to be somewhere between, 18 to 30 laps, depending on the track we're at. I think Le Mans might be our shortest lap race, but, one of the longest in general. I think that's 18 to 21 or something like that, total laps. It might actually be less than that. It actually might be 18 or 17. I can't remember.
But yeah, I mean, we had that hiccup with Hockenheim where we burned through the first 3 safety cars really quickly, and then we had a ginormous accident right after. And surprisingly, with Road America with rain, we only had, I believe, 1 safety car during that. That was actually overall a pretty good clean race.
Oh, God. All right. Chopper view. Oh. That was on both of them a little bit. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was gonna say, so for Loco Racing, Peter Petrucci, who's running solo for this one, it's part of the LMP2 Gentleman's Cup. It's for the drivers that are, not putting in the pro laps. Oh God, I just said it that way too. That sounds so, all right.
Man.
Anyway,
he's off.
Sean Gard of Gasparilla Motorsports just got by Craig Brick of Incasalsa Racing. You know what? You should just talk from now on. that was rough. The laps that a pro are doing in qualifying. Oh my God! The laps for, like, say, the LMP2 was qualifying was a 113. Some could get into the 112s. But a Gentleman's Cup driver was in the high 114s, 115s, some maybe in the 116s. That's why there's a different variation of class within the LMP2s. Orange accents for the pros, blue for the Gentleman's Cup drivers. It's also as followed suit in the GT3 Sprint Championship. Little different though. Further back, you can see we have the orange class pros, but in GT3 Sprint, we have the purple PAMs, the Pro-Ams, are in the middle, and then you have your AM class, blue accented AM class drivers. And there's a lot of AMs in the GT3 Sprint Championship, and we're maxing out at 60 drivers a race now. With the exception of the Super Bowl Sunday, we ended up only having 44 people that showed up.
It's still amazing numbers to me. I was floored when I was watching the race and saw that.
Yeah, if you can remember, season maybe 7 or 8, we would sometimes get like 40-ish, maybe at best 40-ish, and high 30s, and then the rest of it would be 20 to 25, something similar. Look like Incasalsa Racing's going in. Jacob Simmons is still out there. Peter Flanners is going to be in 7th at the moment, just a couple positions behind Jacob Simmons. So their crash really did alter the course of things. They were so close together for most of that.
That's actually impressive. You're just on them with Justin with Uno Dos Tres. Those guys, I thought I saw up 10 positions. It was wild.
Yeah, 10 positions gained as they pass Gio Gonzalez of SRTE Orange in the GT3 class. And there he goes. Cham Shreves is going in. Okay, now we have the real situation here. Trevor Bonesill was 5 seconds ahead of his rivals, and he is in P1. 499 Racing's Bradley Sexton is going to cross the line and continue to go. Cone Killer Racing also crossing the line and continue to go. Gasparilla Motorsport is crossing the line and is going to continue to go. Bush's Baked Bean Durance is going to continue. Looks like Uno Dos Tres is continuing. Draft Punk Gold's going. Now, where was that Hyperion car?
Hyperion 7 with the GT3s?
It was a Hyperion 6. They pit 4 laps ago, on lap 54.
Oh, without. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. You got it. Inca Salsa Racing pit on lap, or is on their out lap. But look at that. Eddie A. Layton, in Hyperion Racing 6. He's taken over the car. And when they pit up, I was trying to determine whether or not this was going to be a sound strategy. Remember, they were fourth in the lineup there. And Inca Salsa Racing's Craig Brick is in ninth at the moment, is ahead of him by a good margin of 2.5 seconds, 2.6 seconds. I don't think this worked out for that team. And you can also see, look at that. That was a 54.6 out of Craig Brick on lap 58 and a 104 on lap 54 for Eddie Layton. That's a massive difference in time. And we're going to see how that works out for Craig Brick here, as he's going to be able to get closer to those battles. Another set of laps here for the 499 Racing drivers, as well as Gasparilla and Bush's. Draft Punk has also not pit. There goes Trevor Bonesteel. He should have comfortably gotten ahead of Uno Dos Tres. That much we knew for certain. But now is Craig Brick going to get through?
Probably going to get really close. Oh, no, he's just going to run away with it.
And yep, there they go. Both drivers are going to... He's not even at the end of the pit lane for the cones. It's not totally bad just yet. That just goes to show you, we have Jeff Lubitsch, who has not pit yet. He's on a stint of 31 laps right now. And he's our solo dolo, right? No. Is he? No. I've never... Oh, Drunken Skunk Racing's new to us, right? So we don't even know. Zach Shelley. Is he not new?
No, because they did the very first race.
Oh, they did the first race. His teammate Zach Shelley might take over. He's going in the pits, and I think he just hit the wall a little bit. That said, P1 through 5 has not gone in the pit lane just yet. This driver who was leading the race has gone into the pits on lap 59. He did a 56.2. Oh, Notorious Nate, thank you for the follow. An hour ago, completely did not see that one. Sorry, man. Official Zach _TV, thank you for the follow. They just jumped in. Jeff Lubitsch is going to drop down the order now. We're going to see that, but 1 and 2, they have still not gone in the pit lane. They're going to go long on this set. Wonder how that works out for them. Gasparilla also staying out. Bush's is staying out. And Peter Flanner, is he going to try to make the move differently? Nope, he's going to stay out there. So I guess we'll see our leader, who's in 6th at the moment, whether or not this works out for him. The undercut or the overcut. Odds on the overcut there, Garrett?
Ooh. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to be able to get past and keep it.
Trevor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the undercut is the methodology. It didn't work out. I mean, technically we don't really know just yet, because Craig Brick is actually, so we have the leader, what was our leader in P6 just exiting the fountain. Craig Brick across the start straight finish line. That's what, 17 seconds, 19 seconds, something like that.
Yeah,
that's more than enough of a margin for these other drivers to get back into it. But look at that. Tyler Sage Anderson of the Dissidents hit on lap 51. All right, and now I guess we get to see whether or not this is all going to work out. Gasparilla Motorsports of Sean Gerd and Jacob Simmons of Bush's Baked Endurance did not pit. Neither did Peter Flanner. Cone Killer Racing and 499 Racing did. Trevor Bonesteel is down the hairpin and exiting. Got Eric Koonsman of Draft Punk Silver in front of him. That guy is doing a solo race. Now, he shouldn't fly by these drivers, but in tandem, he shouldn't have to deal with them. And through the braking, we see he's about 4 seconds, maybe even 5 seconds difference. 4.5 seconds, 4.6. It's looking like 4.8. So, Garreth, you're right. Undercut was strong against the leaders. That was 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's just been doing such a phenomenal job this evening, just racing and just really just focusing hard.
Yeah, I mean, passing these guys on outright pace after a couple restarts, was able to get it done and stayed ahead, 5 seconds ahead of his rivals. That is Eric Koonsman. He's going to get that back out there. He's fine. I won't even hit the replay on that. We have Peter Petrucci of Four Loco Racing and Hyperion Racing 8 of Sam Shreves battling it out. They're neck and neck for 13th. And it looks like Sam Shreves is going to have the upper hand here and stay ahead for now. Gasparilla Motorsports and Bush's Bakery Endurance still out there ahead. And even Pierre Flanner is still going for it. Now, the difference here is 30 seconds. Trevor Bonesteel is got 1 lap car ahead of him, and that is the V-Ray Get Out of the Way, Lars Tiehaus. And definitely one of the more on the inkling of respect and understanding, that driver, Lars, is always going to prioritize letting other drivers safely by him. Seen it in the GT3 Sprint Championship. I've seen it in the multi-class. He's a very respectful driver.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been seeing it lap after lap with a lot of these drivers out on track today, of just the amount of respect that they have for each other. Not just trying to get in each other's way or anything like that, just trying to give each other room and then fighting hard when it makes sense. And just if they make a mistake, they just try and minimize the issues that it causes for other drivers.
Absolutely. And into turn 7, that driver Kevin Millard of 499 Racing's 497 car had to let these guys by. And when doing so, Craig Brick went to the outside, and Tyler jumped into the inside and overtook him for that spot. Now it's even closer. It almost sounds like someone's dying every time. It's just really scary.
I know. Just sounds like someone's car is flying into a fence or something terrible.
It is kind of rough, yeah. No change in the order here, as all of them are still going to stay out there and pit. Going back over to our long stints here of the GT3s, the Barbecue Boys, Zeki Kabani's out for 30 laps now. 31 laps in P2 with little luck nuts of Christopher Chidling. Then Hyperion Racing 6. Derek Heiberger. This team has not lost a single GT3 Pro race here in the multi-class of Broken Wing Le Mans.
Absolutely amazing.
He's set to inherit this again. He pit on lap 51, 52 seconds. It took him. He sees his rivals in front of him as well, which means he doesn't even have to worry about how far of a distance until he becomes P1 again. He was P4 for a while there. SRTE Orange of Gio Gonzalez has always been right there, hot on the heels, and been a close rival. Has finished on the second and third steps here in the previous races. Pretty strong contender here. Christopher Chidling goes in. Now we have Gasparilla Motorsports going in. That's P2 for Derek Heiberger. Zeki Kabani's going to stay out. 2-on-2's racing. Parks de la Cruz is already out 1 lap ago. Matt Benson in Valhalla Racing in P7, he's still out there. V-Ray get out of the way. Lars Tiehaus is actually pit on lap 53, so a little bit earlier. And Cone Killer Racing. I don't know if you saw earlier, Garrett, but on their out lap, Cone Killer Racing, Matthew Morthart kind of let Bradley Sexton go. And now it doesn't look like that's the case. Now it looks like he's catching him and is going to try to make a move. They aren't. I mean, they're not teammates or like sister teammates right now. They're just 2 different teams running the same livery.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to know what kind of communication is being had right now. And just the communication between these 2 guys of like, hey, like, who's passing who and how much of attack and defending is really going on. Or if they're just kind of keeping things easy right now.
Yeah, I'd be curious if they even are in a Discord thing, the whole group of them. But you got to remember, there's other 499 Racing drivers out there. There's the 49 Racing 498 and 497, and those are in the GT3 class. So maybe it'd be too chaotic to have all of them in the same voice channel.
Yeah, they could just be split by class, or I mean, who knows what works for them. But I mean, from interviewing them in the past, I believe that those guys are huge on communication. Really, just making sure that they know what's going on around them and what they need to do.
Fairly smooth there for Matthew Morthart going through the fountain section into turn 1 as well. Yeah. Still seeing these drivers go long. Jacob Simmons and Peter Flanner. With that said, if we look at the difference there is a 28-second difference from leader. We're going to see these drivers even further back than they think they are. The overcut isn't seemingly a strategy to be played. Echelon SimSport on the outside, overtaking Eddie Layton in Hyperion Racing 6. Just hit that back slightly. They split a class. Look at that. That is this great multi-class racing here. He's stuck behind him. He was going to go to the inside, and then bam. Zach Herbert was not stuck. He had a clear line and took it, and through he went. What an impressive move there.
Incredible.
We're hanging out with Beans and Jeff. Oh.
I think that what they're meaning is that they're all in the same channel, is my guess.
Uno, Jeff, Beans. So Jeff Lubitsch and Drunken Skunk Racing. Bush's Baked Bean Durance of Jacob Simmons. And Uno, Dos, Trey's Racing. Trey Mistack's in the car at the moment. And while I'm talking, they give each other enough space, but Cone Killer Racing's Matthew Morthart goes through and overtakes Bradley Sexton through a section we haven't really seen people making a move on the outside like that, and it did work. Or he went to the inside, then to the outside, and instead of Frank and Beans, we got Jeff and Beans.
You can really see with these guys the communication and trust that they have with each other by driving this close, just nonstop, and being able to do moves just like that.
Absolutely, you're right. It comes down to they know each other more than they know everyone else here. They came in as, they are already part of a group of the 499 Racing, so they're already familiar with each other. So they probably have a lot of trust in how they're going to drive each other. would not say the same. So Jacob Simmons is still going along here. And with those 3 safety cars, Garreth, are we even going to go to the end? Because I don't think we've gone to the end since at all at any race. I think it's gone to stacked up to the eventual end of this the session.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because, I mean, what was it? Jacob Simmons haven't hit since lap 20-something. I mean, and we're on 72 right now. I mean, that's an insane amount of fuel saving.
Even so, they're going to have to pit at some point and just hope that they're going to re-pit in contention where these guys are going to pit.
Yeah, I'm not sure because, I mean, these guys should be way ahead in fuel.
Yeah, I mean, there's the idea that they won't have to pit for the end because we are not going to even get to lap 95. There's no way that's happening. Not with 3 safety cars. But these safety cars were essentially shorter than the ones we previously had in terms of like this. You know, it being a short track in a way. I think the safety cars themselves weren't that big of a deal going by everything.
Yeah, but I mean, we've talked about it, I think, every race with these guys, and they'd love to push the limits on the fuel every time. And it's just insane what they can do.
You're not wrong. And speaking of fuel, Zeki Kabani, who was in P1 for the Barbecue Boys, is now down into P6 in the GT3 class. After having to pit on lap 66. It was a 51.3 that he did. And Tyler Anderson. Oof.
Looks like might have gotten on the throttle a little too early.
He was, yeah. How much did he lose there? Got Uno Dos, Trey's racing ahead of him. Down a couple positions, not too bad, all things considered. Just ahead of him, though, or just behind him, it's Jacob Simmons. And how are the blue flag rules in this? Is it the same as the GT3 sprint, where if you're blue flag, just get out of the way safely and respectfully?
I believe so.
I'm just saying that's essentially what the blue flag rule is. Not an F1 blue flag rule, but like, oof, I think they're about side by side.
Yeah, and you're going to get blue flagged if you're in a GT3 car and LMP2 is going to hot on you. But one of the things to keep in mind, I believe there is some leeway with that if there is like 2 GT3s fighting and you see that, try not interrupting as well. That they do have the right to fight.
Yes, they do have the right to keep their fight alive. As far as the multi-class goes, I was more interested. I don't think I've seen the LMP2s being passed in a while, where it's like who's going for who. Draft Punk Gold goes in the pit lane. So now we have Trevor Bonesteel, who's in second. Wait, why was Draft Punk Gold he wasn't that far down. Oh no, he's in the pit lane again. Oh. Yikes. Jacob is still going. He pit on lap 29. I mean, this might be the greatest send of sends if he's going to be able to make it last. He doesn't have to give the car for anyone else. We're not going to make it to 95 laps. Trevor Bonesteel is still 29 seconds back. I guess we'll take a look here and see what happened. And briefly, we still have Derek Heiberger here, who's in P1, 4.3 seconds back is his rival. It does say he crashes. Alright, he crashed, but it does not show us what happened. Parks de la Cruz. Oof. And that was the Dissidents. Oh, and that was another driver that...
You guys are having a rough luck on that turn right there.
Yeah. Alright. Peter Flanner. Ooh. Oh.
That's real bad.
Wait.
Oh, it's back on.
It's back. I mean, his car is probably... Yeah, his car is not doing well at all. I mean, for a second you're like, that's lucky. All of his stuff pops back on. But then it's down. Unfortunate. Derek Heiberger did crash at some point, but it doesn't actually show what happened. It was enough to warrant that he did crash, so he stopped fully for a second. But not enough to show any significant damage to his car, and he's still out there in P1. The driver and team that have won every multi-class GT3 Pro event so far this season, this first season, might be able to take home another win.
That's wild to see.
Yeah, that's... I don't even know what to say. But that gap previous that I was looking at, Garreth, 29 seconds. It's 25 seconds now, 25.5. So Trevor Bonesteel is making inroads into Jacob Simmons' time.
Yeah, Trevor Bonesteel is just on fire.
You know, is Jacob in the pit?
Yeah, just looking at your board.
Yep, he's in the pit. He's in the pit. It's not going to be much for this driver here. He's got Sam Shreves here in Racing 8 just ahead of him. I'm sure he's going to give him the courtesy and let him by. Last thing you'd want to be is lap traffic killing the P1 driver. He does get by. He's going to be on there for a little bit. Cone Killer Racing and 499 Racing are going to comfortably go by. Is Gasparilla Motorsports going to go by? He was just ahead of Jacob Simmons. Got Craig Brick. He's also racing 6/10 behind. This could be a detrimental effect here for Jacob Simmons, and that is a full 3 cars going to pass him by, and he's still not off there. Eddie Layton's going to cross through and pass him. Uno Dos Trey's is racing, and Trey Mistak is going to pass him. Oof. I think, he's just fighting the distance. Tyler Sage Anderson, maybe. He is still out there. You see this, though?
Yeah, what is happening? What?
We got wrecked out by the Dissident. Oh, they are up there on the jacks. They are out. Yeah. If it was a normal pit stop, it would have been, 55 seconds, maybe a minute 5, but he looks like Chris Lambeth is saying that they got wrecked out. Oh! Take another look at that, Garreth. We're on board with Tyler Sage Anderson of the Dissidents. It's that tire barrier. Ooh.
Oh, man.
And that is what caused that driver who was in P1 now being not P1. Some wheel damage. It's more than wheel damage on that one. There's still a fight to be had. Do you have any indication of how many laps are left? Anyone in the comments know how many laps you guys are showing for you? We're on lap 80, but we're not going to the end on this. The session will count it down when things change. 6 laps. 6 laps to go. It's lap 68.
Yeah, seems about right. We got just about 8 minutes left.
And fantastic. Sam Shreves of Frontier Racing 8 let Trevor Bonesteel by at some point. He's gotten a good marginal gap of 8/10. But more importantly, he is 9.3 seconds ahead of his rival.
Yeah, that's a commanding lead right there.
We've seen this kind of commanding lead out of the 499 Racing, by the way. 499 Racing, who is in third, they won the first race, they won the third race, they had a disastrous second race. That much we know. I think it was off the start even, or maybe not even the start, but closer to the midpoint where they were racing. Hockenheim was second race, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I remember this specifically, actually. 499 Racing and another team, I don't even know which team that was, were neck and neck. Do you remember? And it was the midsection, almost going closer to the end of the end, like the sector 3 almost. It's that left there. They're curving right, but then it's got like not a hairpin, but like a quarter to the left. Before the corner, they were side by side, and they came together, net code or whatever, and they flew right into the tire barrier to the left before the corner, and both were just dead. I believe that was the 499 team, and whoever else was on that one. That one was a rough one, because they were leading that race. That was P1 and 2, and I think 499 was in first on that one, and then they just got completely demolished. I don't even think there was an incident report on that specific incident filed.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I mean, crap, that's a month ago.
I've got the weirdest memory.
That's solid memory right there.
Yeah. But
yeah, especially that detail, man.
I can only remember that because I remember that our leaders did wreck out, and that was like it's a significant thing. Look how far they have to go on the outside there on that hairpin. It's just some people are able to make it and some people aren't.
And down to the last 5 minutes and 30 seconds of this race.
All right, so it's getting really close. 84, 85 laps. Zach Herbert did get through on Gasparilla Motorsport, Sean Gerd. I guess, is Sean Gerd, having stated that he's doing this race solo dolo? Gasparilla's got Ronald Methot with him as a teammate, and Gasparilla has not used up a solo dolo, so I don't think I've seen his teammate in this car at all.
I don't. It's not coming to mind at the moment.
Now, every time we saw him, he was, mind you, look at that, 12 positions gained. It's all about just being safe.
Yeah, it is an endurance race.
And Jacob Simmons is back out there. He's just behind Trevor Bonesteel. He's a couple laps down from the GT3, so he's not really going to be able to do anything much further, but, you know, still be able to stay out there. Give it his all, his gusto here. Somebody was burning rubber down the start straight finish there. All right, I think it might have been. Oh, yeah, and that was going to be what I saw. He's going to park that one for Loco Racing. Okay, maybe it wasn't that one. This is the plume of smoke. I saw that from the other side of the track. Nice job for Peter Petrucci, who is solo doloing this race, so. Don't want to see any mistakes here, but. Alright, hopefully that's nothing. It said that Trevor Bonsu was driving slowly. Looks like, yeah, I mean, whatever happened, that was a 3-second difference now. Actually 4-second difference to his rival, but still ahead. Nothing really close in terms of battles happening out there on track. Parks de la Cruz doing just fine in fourth. He's got a 2.2 second gap of Matt Benson behind him. Pier Racing 9 is in third. They got a 20-second gap to P2. It's Gio Gonzalez. And has Gio Gonzalez been in the car this entire time? I think so.
Yeah, because his teammate is Ash Ridge, and
hey, he's got a solo dolo. He's got one in the bank here, so this could be his solo dolo. Derek Heiberger. This man just needs to keep it together, and his team. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure his teammate was in the race with him. Alex Caruso, but I don't think I saw Alex Caruso. But again, they've got. So, was I been saying Hyperion Racing 7 or 6 on this guy? I think I've been saying Hyperion Racing 6, 7. This is why you don't use Roman numerals.
Hey, we talked about at the beginning of the race that we're going to get mixed up. Just a forewarning.
I think I got mixed up. I think I've been saying 6 instead of 7 for whatever reason. 6 is Eddie Layton's team. I don't think Alex Caruso has been in this car. I think Derek Heiberger has done this whole race solo dolo. If he did, I never saw the name change.
Yeah, I'm not calling out either.
Now that's got to be a little scary there. He's got a little slow up from Peter Petrucci. Hyperion Racing 6, we know this one to be Hyperion Racing 6. They're out there. And it's the white flag. Tyler Sage Anderson is in the pits. And he has to get fuel. There's no doubt he has to get fuel. He wasn't going to be able to make it one more lap. That just drops him down. Trevor Bonesteel has a full lap to go before this race ends. We did get close to the end, though. There's that.
Yeah.
Lap 67. This one will end. No send down the inside line for Trey Misek on Eddie Layton. This is the battle for P7. It's the rear. Move down the inside line. Looks like he has it. They're going to go side by side, and he takes the position. And he has it done. Congratulations to Trevor Bonesteel of Great Underdog Racing for finishing P1. Cone Killer Racing into P2. 499 Racing's Bradley Sexton crosses the line, and he's going to go into P3. Echelon SimSport Zach Herbert, with no one to contend with right now, he's going to finish at P4. Gasparilla Motorsports, Sean Gerd has Inca Salsa Racing right behind him, but it's a little bit further back. That's Peter Flanner, Draft Punk Gold between the two, and he's going to finish 5th. Inca Salsa Racing in 6th. Uno Dos Tres Racing finished in 7th ahead of Hyperion Racing's Eddie Layton in 8th. Jeff Lubitsch in 9. Hyperion Racing 8 of Shan Shreves in 10. The Distance Tyler Sage Anderson in 11. Four Loco Racing Peter Petrucci in 12. Other drivers that are still out there: Derek Heiberger of Hyperion Racing 7 finishes in 1st. SRTE Orange, Gio Gonzalez in 2nd. Turner Schroll rounding out. He's in Hyperion Racing 9. He's going to finish in 3rd. Parks de la Cruz has already finished the race. He's going to finish 4th. Valhalla Racing and Matt Benson in 5th. They've crossed the line. Christopher Chittenden and Little Lugnuts in 6th. Barbecue Boys is Zeki Kabani in 7th. V-Ray Get Out of the Way, Lars Tyhouse in 8. 499 Racing's 497 car in 9. STR Esport, Evan McKay in 10. Todd Swanson, the 499 Racing 498 GT3s in 11. 12 is Jeff Koffold, Mixed Nationality. 13 is Prosciutto Punch Racing. And Snail Racing team of Gary Sack, the 3rd and 14th. Followed by the 13th, Jacob Simmons, Bush's Baked Bean Endurance Racing for the LMP2s. Draft Punk Gold, Peter Flanner in 14 for the LMP2s. Draft Punk Silver in 15th, Eric Kunzman. Prosciutto Punch Sativa, Craig Carroll in 16. Appalachian GT3 Puncher, Tyler Tier in 17. And Cadian Motorsports in 18. That said, that's all of those drivers. And I mean, what a fantastic race overall, I gotta say.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. I mean, we had a crazy start and with the safety cars and stuff, but I mean, from start to finish, it was a phenomenal race. Just an absolute blast to see all those guys out there, and just a lot of respect being shown to each other.
Yeah, and that said, it was kind of like all the hallmarks of what we were thinking we were going to see. We were going to see some really interesting crashes, some lockups, people just missing the braking marker entirely and going straight on and taking that runoff area. The safety cars was a little different, I would say, this go around. I think it was all well done on the first two. I don't know what really happened with Cooper on that third one that triggered it. One car stopped. Actually, I guess the second one did stop, but it didn't really seem like it was like that big of a difference.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Yeah, that one, we weren't sure if it was just a weird glitch or what exactly happened in that spot.
Yeah, it just seemed very different. And we'll go over congratulations, Derek Heiberger, Alex Caruso. So first off, my first question is, Alex, were you in the car?
Yeah, I did the first stint.
Oh, okay. I thought that was on lap 29 or 28 when you got out.
Yeah, it was during that first safety car, I think.
Oh, that would have been it, because I think I saw Derek was the qualifying driver, and then I saw him after lap 28. This is when I watched the safety car and saw he was back in the car. So I just assumed maybe he wasn't driving with his teammate today, but you were there just at the start. How was that chaotic start for you? You guys seemed like the GT3s were all respectful of what happened in the fountain, but from your perspective, what was it like?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was in chat with a bunch of my teammates, so everybody was kind of calling it out well before I arrived. So I had a pretty big heads up. I knew it was coming and just kind of controlled the field from there. And I think that's what helps the GT3 field kind of stay safe in that first incident.
Yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal play. And I mean, I was shouting praise to the GT3 drivers when that first accident happened. I was like, wow, that's amazing that those guys stopped and didn't like add to the pile, that they were just able to stop there, just play a respect, and just kind of wait for the LMP2s to kind of figure out what's going on and get situated in that tight area.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of coming from Hyperion Racing. We do a ton of endurance races, so we're no strangers to stack ups and checkups, especially during safety cars. So lots of practice over here, and that definitely helped keep us safe in that moment.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. So good on you guys. And I mean, yeah, congratulations from me. I mean, that's 4 times now that you guys have won in your class, which is phenomenal. And I haven't seen anything like that in a while. So awesome job, you guys.
Yeah, this
Thank
was
you very much.
yeah, thank you very much first off, but this was definitely a trickier one. We when we pitted under safety car and put me in the car, we take a slight time penalty due to the driver change, which put us back in the pack a little bit. And in order
Hmm.
to get back to the front, we had to try something unique on strategy and pit early. And we just ended up Alex made a brilliant call, got me into some clear air, and we were able to pull a gap while others had traffic. By the time everyone else pitted, we were out in front again.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I did notice that. I did notice you guys were, I think, fourth or fifth in one of those, and then it was like, oh, well, they're usually lot higher in this order, and it looked like it was gonna go towards Gio Gonzalez, who, I mean, SRTE Orange has kind of given you guys a little bit of run for your money. They've been really close to you. They've been finishing second consistently. But it looked like you guys just had a really good pitch strategy. We haven't seen that out of all the teams. I'll say that it seemed like it was a bit of a kerfluffle for some of the teams on how they pit.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The strategy was a big piece of our win today. Gio's been flying all season, and he's been a pleasure to race against. So hopefully we see more of him in the future, and who knows, maybe one day we'll see him in blue.
Hey,
Love it.
yeah, you never know. Well, thanks guys for joining us, and really hats off to Hyperion Racing. Up and down the grid, you guys have a lot of good crews that are manned into different teams right now. Fantastic result for your LMP2 counterparts as well.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the broadcast. Appreciate the coverage. Appreciate the opportunity to come in here and interview. It's been a blast in this league, and we're looking forward to the last one.
Yeah, can't wait to see what happens in round 5.
Yeah, has to.
All right, thanks guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
And yeah, I'm just gonna pull these two as this group as well. GT3s. Briefly, we'll get to you in a second. Congratulations, by the way. But Trevor Bonesteel for the LMP2 Pro standings. Congratulations, you solo doloed this without your teammate Alex Warkus, and you did fantastic through the restarts and everything. You were able to get a pass down on the 499 Racing as well as Cone Killer Racing, and it was really well done. You guys, you made it stick there, and then throughout the rest of the pit stops, you kind of just commanded a good margin. You never had any issues that much. I think you had one area in sector 2 where you slowed intentionally further down when there was a LMP2 and a GT3 that was a bit slow, and you just let them figure it out, and then you sorted it and passed them on by. But you lost about 4 seconds to your rival towards the end of the race, but it didn't seem to bother you that much. Congratulations, Trevor, by the way. That was a fantastic race to do solo.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, everything went pretty much to plan for us. Had my buddy Chris Bolton on the pit wall, helped me with a little strategy. But yeah, just pick your battles, be patient, and be aggressive when the time arises. That's kind of my thought process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it paid off for you guys in a big way of being able to get that win. And yeah, I mean, it is endurance race, and just kind of being patient is key number one with a lot of these races, and just kind of just waiting out and just making sure you're picking the right battles. And you absolutely showed that and demonstrated that in full force tonight.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, solo was, mentally a lot, but also, staying in the car, already knowing the track conditions after every pit stop. I think that actually did kind of help a bit.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. That was it was we didn't see it that much. I mean, we saw you at the start. We saw you make your passes. I was checking in to see where you were at comparatively to where people were pitting. You pit pretty on spot for yourself. It didn't seem to be a net negative. The undercut seemed to work mostly. Everyone that was overcutting it was harming them. They were losing huge amounts of time. At one point before Jacob Simmons went into the pits, he did have an accident. He was 29 seconds ahead of you, and by the time I was looking down at it, he was like 22 seconds ahead of you, and you're just chunking into his time before the incident. After the incident, of course, he went down the order, but fantastic result there, Trevor. I mean, truly, I didn't see it coming because 499 Racing and Cone Killer Racing have been pretty commanding in the LMP2s so far this season, but I mean, you just showed them up, so congrats.
Yeah, it absolutely. I mean, they've been setting the pace the whole season, and I didn't see it coming myself, but yeah, all you can do is always go for the win, and sometimes it follows your direction.
I mean, those orange accents don't not do you justice. You're part of the pro class, and it really showed tonight.
Well, thank you. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. And if Tom wants to join us, he did move out. Congratulations again for the GT3 Gentlemen's Cup. V Ray, get out of the way. Lars, Ty House, Tom Smith, CW Pair, you guys all hopped in the car, I think. Oh, actually, I don't know if I saw Tom Smith in the car. I saw CW Pair in, but you had one team to face this go around, Snell Racing Team. Unfortunately, Gary Sack and Leonard left I think on lap 20 just before lap 20 something, so it'd have been probably like lap 18 or 16 or something. They had an incident. I don't know exactly what incident occurred, but it was enough to warrant ending their race. But you still put it out there in a very good spot. I mean, you guys ended up finishing pretty respectably there in 8th. You had the 499 Racing teams both behind you, the SRT Esport team behind you. Jeff is pretty quick. So is Intricor Stecky. All of those other drivers, they are also pretty quick and they're part of the pro class. But the one thing that always remains, and what I've seen you guys do, is just keep it on track, keep it respectable, keep it predictable. And you guys had no faults for that, and that's why you ended up finishing fairly well in P8.
Sorry, my dog is going wild here.
That's all right, and also P1 in your own little in the Gentleman's Cup. But congratulations, guys! It was we did see you through lap traffic a couple times where it was always you always were predictable and you always made it work with the LMP2s, and it just helps your race and it helps further your position as the P1 team.
Yeah, to comment on your first thing, Tom took the first stint, so you might have missed that. But Pierre second and I did third. It was pretty exciting to have Snell there. They really kept on our tail in the opening stints. We had to look up where they went. I think they indeed crashed out in turn 1, head-on collision.
Okay.
Yeah, I think at the end was pretty exciting. We had a pro class car on like 10 seconds behind us, and we were just watching that relative. See, we saw their splits. They were a little bit faster than us, but we were able, through all the traffic help, etc., able to keep them behind us. So that was exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, it relatively, in terms of pace, what I noticed in practice is even though you guys might have been towards the bottom end there at the 120s, or it was 118s or 118. It was 120s, I think, because the fastest we're doing 118s. Relative to race pace, it wasn't that bad. Getting the 119s, low 120s. Everyone in the GT3s was having to contend with the multi-class aspect of it. So it kind of curbed the I guess the field a little bit in that. But everyone still found their own relative race pace where they was just kind of, like the GT3s just kind of spread out naturally as they do even in a GT3 sprint race. They just naturally find their rhythm and find their spots, and you guys I think found yours, and it ended up working out. So again, congratulations. And Fantastic! I can't wait to see what happens on round 5. Maybe we get some more Gentlemen's Cup drivers out of this. Who knows? I think Long Beach in itself is something like Hockenheim, where you're just not going to get the participation you want out of it because some people feel it's too close, the walls are too close, whatnot. Like it's its own challenge, but not too much of an unsurmountable challenge. You guys handled it just fine.
It was really fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this track.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, congratulations, guys. Garreth, any last words for them?
No, I don't have anything. Yeah, just congrats, guys. It was, as always, a very big pleasure just seeing you guys out there and just seeing you guys just with the amount of respect that you have with other drivers and just kind of keeping things clean. Always appreciate it and just always fun to watch.
Cool, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and just one last thing. You guys are doing great in the GT3 Sprint Championship. If you haven't seen on the last couple races, I did pull Lars and Tom up, and many a times you guys had some very clean races against other drivers. That was in the AMs. That was very fantastic to watch. So keep at it. It's some of the AMs end up going straight up to the pro-ams to the pros over time. I think Craig Carroll, the owner, being one of them, who was in the AMs for a while and is now is toe to toe and getting some really good lap times. And so, again, just like seeing you guys in that series as well, and like seeing you guys in this one. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
All right. And with that said, and everybody else who's probably still here, maybe not here, thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we have the Xfinity Series. That starts at 9:05. Is it 9:05 or 9:10? I think it's 9:10 Eastern.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 9:10 Eastern, because 9:05 is for the GT3 sprints. Then V-Rays, probably a 9:10 on that one. I'm not sure. On Thursdays, V-Rays, it's a multi-class for that one as well. We'll be back here for Sunday for the GT3 Sprint Championship. That's going to be around 7. And then in 2 weeks, not this next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that, we'll be back for the Broken Wheel Le Mans Series for the final round 5 of Season 1. As always, thank you to my co-commentator here, Garreth Hamm, for joining me in the booth, as well as everyone that was interacting with us in the comments. We appreciate it. And everybody, just have a good evening. And Garreth, anything last to say?
We do have a merch store. Check that out. That's in a link down below.
Oh, yes, in the About Me section, yes.
Yes. And then, that was a fantastic race, and always a pleasure joining you on this commentating session.
Yeah, and thank you to our sponsors. You can see them at the bottom left. We really appreciate them. They sponsor the entire league, except the Xfinity Series, because Xfinity Series is a different type of series to the Broken Wing Racing League. More about the broken part of the racing than it is about anything else.
Very much on the broken side.
It is
but it's Xfinity.
Yeah, it's an Xfinity series, and we do tend to have the shenanigans happen there. So thanks again, everybody, for joining me. Everybody have a good evening.